Hello. Thanks for coming. It is Christmas morning. The house is full of the aroma of turkey cooking. I got up early, but not incredibly early, and got it all together. This is my maybe 4th or 5th turkey ever. And really, when it comes down to it, it's not all that complicated. It's not. Today, I may actually try to make turkey soup afterwards. We'll see. I hear it's not that difficult. Perhaps I will look on YouTube and see what I can see. You know what? Even if I do take all the extra turkey things and boil them, and even if I don't like the result, the house will smell really great. It will. Anyway, I was just down to the mailbox to look to see if there was anything festive. And, surprises, surprises, so far this year, I have 2 cards. 2 cards. One, of course, is from my dear mother. And the other is from kind of my sort of long-distance, kind of adopted daughter. It's a long story, but apparently I very much resemble her father, who is sadly no longer with us. Anyway, the card appeared. It's actually the only one that arrived in the mail. I wonder... This lady is rather an artist, and I'm not sure. Let me look at the back. Yes, I do believe this is a hand-painted, gorgeous snowman creation. I believe. There are no barcodes or anything. Let me just peek inside. Very nice. Very sweet. This, I suspect I will probably, as I have done in the past with some things that I have been given that are special and original, I suspect I will maybe put that in a little frame and keep it. Maybe put it on the wall somewhere. I've heard a little beep come through. Funny, I've been sending out a picture that was taken of me some years ago. And there's, of course, a story involved. My hair, which is now getting lighter, but not white, but it's lighter, makes it easier to do the Santa thing. For quite a while it was easy to do the Hagrid thing. Ugh. Anyway, some years ago, like inspired with a great man who I worked with, and his wife and daughter colored my hair. Now it unfortunately, some of it turned very white, usually, mostly stuff in the back. And other stuff it looked kind of blonde, but it was certainly better than dark. So I did it to be Santa one year, and of course there were lots of pictures taken, and this one fellow who taught photography at Earl Haig, John Pander, took that and actually did remarkable things to make it whiter than blonde in the picture. So this year, I don't know if you can see that, but I just happened to come upon this. So I've been sort of sending that out through Messenger, and it gets a pretty fine reaction. It does. Anyway, so yeah, this is an interesting COVID Christmas. Later today, Andrew and I will celebrate by ourselves, and but we will record so you can all. I don't think I can live stream, but you can all sort of hang out with us later. Indeedy. So I'm not gonna work on anything today. I did turn on the lava lamp, but it takes some time to heat up. What I'm doing now in the time between turkey being done and cooking is getting other things together and preparing for kind of a mid-afternoon meal we will have. And yeah, I should look for a frame for this. Magnificent. It is. It's funny when, you know, even when you get a card and you look at something like that, you know, you think, oh yeah, snowman, yeah. But see, somebody had to create that. Even if it's made and printed by the millions. Somebody somewhere sat and said, oh yeah, hang on. Let me work on that nose. Let me work on that hat. Let me get the shading just right. They don't just come out of nowhere. Anyway, I am honored to have this artistic original here. I am. So, what else? I am kind of reflective this year. Because once again, here we are in the midst of many people going ahead with gatherings that probably will be fine. But this new variant seems to be running rampant in Ontario. I don't think we'll get numbers today, but yesterday numbers were approaching 10,000, and they're probably higher than that because they're so backed up on getting the test done. And, you know, there are simple things to do, but it can be done to try and avoid exposure. For example, yesterday I got up and I realized there was a couple of things that I really, really, really should try and find for today. And I had been trying to, of course, make this happen ahead of time, but, you know, you just forget things or things get devoured or whatever. So, the main store that I go to opens at 8. The secondary store opens at 7. So I was at the secondary store right at 7. And, you know, there were people that worked there. I went to the self-serve thing. But really, the aisles are generally empty, whereas, you know, you wait till noon or 2 or 3 or whatever in the afternoon. It'll be crazy. So, you know, get up early, get her done. And it'll take a lot less time and also a lot less chance to be exposed to the demon virus. Actually, funny thing, in the day before that, I did that. And I thought I had everything, but I didn't. But really, I mean, some stores had openings early for the elderly. And of course, with this beard, I can pass for elderly. But really, you know, don't just go to the store for one thing. Really try. I mean, you can't stock up on everything because some things just don't last. But when you go rarely and get what you can and go early and, you know, crank up the TV. Of course, right now, there's not a whole lot of sports on, but today there will be some. Because teams have been, funny, people use the word, they've been decimated. But most people don't even know what decimated means. Like, if a whole team is infected, or half the team is infected, or, you know, however many, they haven't been decimated. If the whole team is positive and in all that, well, in terms of, well, if it was deadly, they would be annihilated. But decimated basically means 1 in 10. Deci. Like metric. So if they say the team's been decimated, that means 1 in 10. And if a team has 20 people, that means 2. Oh my God, they've been decimated. Anyway, it's funny. Andrew has been watching lots of YouTube about baseball. And it just, these people who try and make a living off of being like YouTube commentators, and some of them do quite well, especially in baseball, they say more numbers than words. And there was one I was listening to down there. So, they go on about their WAR, which I always find is the stupidest. It's the wins above replacement. So if they had some other guy playing instead of you, how many more wins they get because you're there rather than some guy, some mysterious magical guy? Who knows? But anyway, there's so many numbers and stats and stuff. And really what it comes down to is, in baseball, you want somebody who, if they're a pitcher, they come up clutch in the clutch moments. And if they're a hitter, they come up clutch. They hit with men in scoring position. There was one guy, I don't remember who it was now, he was a Blue Jay, 30, 40 years ago. And he always was very well up there in the home run category for, the season amongst players. Never won it, I don't think, but he was always up there. But generally his home runs came, here it is, it's 8-0 in the bottom of the ninth, and the Jays are going to lose. And, he plows one over the fence. Woohoo, it's 8-1. They didn't get the shutout. Yeehaw. But that is not the time that a home run is, really valuable. A home run is valuable with, when you're down by a run or 2 or 3 and you got men on base. Or look at Dave Winfield, who came to the Jays years ago. Reggie Jackson was Mr. October. Dave Winfield was Mr. May. Never won a World Series until he came to the Jays. And, it wasn't until the last game that he played with the Jays, I think it was the last game, and when they won the World Series, that he actually got a multi-base hit in a playoff, in that series. And it was helpful. It was very helpful. So, all the numbers, numbers, oh, yeah, ERA, da-da-da-da-da-da, and let's talk about hockey. Now let's talk about another, like hockey is trying to be baseball. They keep track of everything. And then there's the analytics. Those are probably the same people that way back in the Olympics, God knows when, I can't remember which one, said, hey, let's not let Wayne Gretzky shoot in the shootout, because the statistics show that even though he's the best and the greatest of all time and the best goal scorer, that there's some other crap numbers saying something. So analytics, yes. Instead of things like go with your gut. Who can perform right now? Who is clutch? That's the stat we need. So anyway, that was talking about save percentage. You know what? If they shoot 100 shots and your save percentage is 95, that means they scored 5 goals. ERA, not ERA. That's baseball. You know what? More importantly than save percentage is goals against. If you have, say a team shoots 5 shots on you all game and they score 1, boy, that doesn't look good on your save percentage. But your goals against is 1 for that game. 1. Anyway, statistics are beautiful. But the coaches should look at them as just one tool. For example, when was it? Not that long ago. Maybe it was last year, the year before in the World Series. There's a pitcher. He's doing well. He's given up something other, but the statistics say that you don't let him face the batters a 3rd time. That's what the statistics say. So they take him out, and they lose. and it just goes all to hell. Whereas, you know, even he was on the mound saying, "What do you, please, don't do this, don't do this, what are you doing?" I think it was Snell. Oh, yes. You know what? There's a girl, she was at Earl Hague years ago, and she wrote a beautiful song for Remembrance Day. And it basically said, because she got the letter, supposedly it's the widow who's got the letter. And the song was, "You were just a number." Well, you know what? There's more to life than numbers. Way more important things than somebody's ERA or their WAR or their goals against average or how much they make or whatever. There's so much more to life than these statistics. There is. Anyway, as you can see, my lava lamp has done its usual sort of exploding trick. And I've never really sat here long enough to see how it gets out of this mess. I have not. Anyway, time marches on. The turkey is cooking. There are other things to prepare. Actually, what I really need to do now is, because last year when I recorded we had candles going and other things, and it really was the lighting was, well, the first part we did was really way too bright in terms of like these bright burning candles and other such things. They really took away from it. So I need to sort out some lighting that has us lit but not, you know, with these hot spots all over the place. So I'll probably steal this light up here. And I'll look for other things, and I'll get things set up, and then I will make sure my iPad that I'm recording on now is charged, and it sort of resides on a thing that's very similar to a kind of a music stand, but it's taller. So I will get that into position. I will make sure it's charged. I will work out the angles. I will work out how high. Oh, here's another thing, of course. It's funny, because I always see people do this, is they have a tripod and they put the camera on it. It's fine. It's beautiful. Tripods are wonderful. They are. They keep the camera steady as can be. Like right now, unless I were to reach over and knock that thing that it's sitting on, that's not going to move. But what do? Because it's convenient, is they pop the legs out to their maximum height. They drop they put the tripod down. Then they slide up the various sections to the top, because that's convenient to be able to look into it and say, "Oh, look at that." But life is not always seen from that height. So you don't have to do always what is convenient. And that really is the difference between an okay picture and a great picture. Typically, you know what? It's just a slightly different angle, a slightly different elevation, a slightly different something. Like right now I'm shooting, this is kind of up above me looking down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for us for dinner. It'll probably be similar, but I will pick the best angle and the best thing depending on a bunch of things. I'm not just going to go, "Oh yeah, put it to the top, that's what we do, that's what we always do." Because if you watch movies and you watch TV stuff, they don't do that. They do all kinds of things. They've got, well, now they've got drones and they've got cranes. They've got no end of stuff. And forever and ever in the car chase scene, you'll always see they put the camera right on the ground and have the car run it over, but not hurt it, of course. And now with the GoPros, oh, they can do all kinds of things. And then, of course, there's the selfie stick. Oh, so many things. Anyway, for those aspiring to take better pictures and videos, I say one thing. Don't just set your tripod at the top level and say, "Okay, that's good." Look for the sweet spot, the best thing for what you're doing, whatever that is. Now, it doesn't mean it necessarily isn't going to be fine at the top level. I remember once I was working on a show, and the director, Chris lent was there, and they were actually using my old station wagon, and this guy was, it was just a quick shot. He was just, I think, he was a bad guy, but there was some guy getting groceries out of his car, and then he stopped and helped him get the groceries out of the car. So, you know, when you shoot things for that, there's always different angles, and there's always, you know, a long shot, and anyway. But I remember, you know, everybody's trying to talk about the lighting, they're talking about this, they're talking, it seems that this quick moment, which is probably going to be like 5 seconds, if that, in the show, is going to take hours for them to shoot. And I remember Chris kind of looked at all these people with all their wisdom and all their things, which what they're supposed to offer him. He just looked at them and said, you know, we don't have to be clever. Anyway, sadly, there are a lot of people who are not clever. But anyway, they shot it. It was fine. But it wasn't like shot from under the car, but it could have been. It wasn't shot looking down on the car. They would have needed a crane, or they would have needed something, or whatever. It was not like a pivotal moment in the show. So, there's an old man getting groceries out of the back of his station wagon. Here's the corrupt drug dealer who helps him take them. Boom, bang, bing. I think they shot it from 2 different angles. I think they just used one. It was a quick thing sometimes. Yes. So you have to know, that's the difference between knowing when to be clever, when to set the tripod at the top and just say shoot, and when to take a few moments and pick something better. That is what the cinematographer does. And, yeah. And then, of course, I think to that poor lady who got shot on that movie set. You know, I've been on a lot of movie sets with guns. It boggles my mind how anything like that, never have I been on a set that has live ammunition. There's no, like, oh, well, watch it, that could be the live stuff, that could not be. It's just not. It's just, generally, sometimes things are, sometimes there's blanks, but you still got to be careful. That is shooting. Not a thing, but it certainly got a lot of pressure behind it to shoot flame and stuff. Don't get too close to that stuff. And really, it boggles my mind how they would ever have anything that was potentially live anywhere near any movie set, because you just never know. Mind you, this whole thing about, well, I couldn't tell the difference between blanks and real bullets. Bullshit. Bullshit. Did I say that? Bullshit. If they're not there, they can't get mixed in. Don't have them there. Don't dig around. And certainly this is going to change the way movies and things are made. And in some ways, the pendulum will now swing to the extreme. But you know what? They've always been, everything I've been on, where they've been weapons, any weapons, even fake weapons, anything, they are so careful, and you never point anything at anybody, no matter what it is. I once was supposed to shoot a rocket launcher, and it was fake, of course. And, you know, it ended up I didn't actually shoot it because I was left-handed, and it was a right-handed rocket launcher. So it just didn't look comfortable. So they switched to somebody else. I said, oh yeah, okay, fine. Anyway, but in the midst of that, and this basically was just an empty tube that looked like a rocket launcher. And the other guy they gave it to then was like swinging around, and immediately they just said, whoa, hold on. Don't point that at anybody. It's a tube. You don't point it at anybody. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. And I think actually he ended up being replaced. Not that they kicked him off the show, but that happens. But I think they just said, no, because I think he did it again, or even if it was actually, he just said, you know what, no, we'll get somebody else. And at the end of every take, there's like the gun people are right there, and they take the guns, because there's usually some time between takes. They reset everything and then they give the guns back. Anyway, just boggles my mind. It does. Anyway, I am going to cherish this and I am going to stop recording. I'm not going to work on any Commodore stuff today. I'm going to get set up for dinner. And Andrew and I, and perhaps Penny will drop by, will rejoice and share in our second solo, duo, trio Christmas. We shall. Anyway, thanks very much for coming. Stay tuned. I've got lots more stuff to go through and many surprises, I'm sure, as the year goes on. And yes, indeed, I keep threatening that, yeah, I'm going to sell some stuff, and I am. I've just got to really get regimented on going through, sorting, figuring, and part of what I should do in every video is then say, right, and now I'm going to take pictures, and now let's go online here, and there are 3 places, I figure, that when I start selling things that I will list them. Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, and perhaps eBay. I'm not sure which I will start with or which I will finish with. I've not yet decided. But I will ship things, and I pack things very carefully. And I do have a few things around here. I do. Indeed-do. So, anyway, I'm going to take this downstairs. I'm going to put it where I can look at it while we dine. Because, as they say, or the one fellow Raj on The Big Bang Theory says, there's a difference between eating and dining. And today, we shall dine. We shall. And this will be part of it. In the dining room. Well, that's about all I have to say about that. Thank you very much for coming. I must take this call.